pretty cold outside here now, but we should be getting to something pretty good soon. So there's an adit back there. There's an adit back there. And there's an adit here. I've got to say, this is one of the more impressive settings I've seen for abandoned mines. This is pretty spectacular. Pretty spectacular. Alright, just inside the portal, and it already looks pretty promising. Looks like we have a flat car right there. Can't tell if that's a bulkhead or an air door or not yet. Lots of insulators in here, so obviously they had juice back here for something. Looking at the flat car, looks like it's got a wooden frame. Yeah, it's got a wooden frame. It's obviously been back here for a while, because this hasn't been rolling through that in a long time. That looks pretty messy. And better look at the wooden frame. Still has its wheels and everything. That's unusual in this day and age, unfortunately. Yeah. All wooden frame, that's pretty cool. So, makes me curious what's ahead. Looking ahead, it looks a bit messy. So I'm probably gonna trip on that stuff. So I think I'll put the camera away and I'll pick up on the other side of that messy stuff over there. Looks pretty colorful in here too, huh? I've been coming from that direction. You can see all that messy stuff we climbed over. You can even see a little bit of the light from the portal. Looking ahead is cleaner, but it looks long and featureless. So I think I'm gonna turn the camera off, just walk for a while and see if we get something interesting. A lot of these boards with the insulators on them, so obviously they had something back here that required electricity. So we'll head back and see what that might have been. Still going, more of the same. I'm just checking in. Like I said, still got the insulators. Still got the track. Everything's very much the same. So I'm gonna turn the camera off, keep going. I'll pick up when we get to something good. I turned the camera back on because it looks like there's something up here. It looks like something big, so it seems like the kind of thing I would want to have on camera. Just a whole bunch of insulators and stuff here. So what do we have here? We came in from that direction and have come to a large wind station. As you can see, now I'm saying large and you're thinking, okay, yeah, it looks a little bit big. I'm saying large because this is the skip car for it. It's a double-decker skip. Look at this. See, it's got the extra set of doors right there. I have never seen double-decker skip before, so that is impressive. They skipped ahead. They're doing a recon. I'm the only one filming right now, so I'm going a little bit slower, but this is a really impressive station. I want to share it with you. Runs up a bit. Look at so the insulators and such right there. See how much power I had running down here. It's pretty wild. Timbered up over there too, as you can see. See the for the hoist right here. Looking down, it's kind of creepy because it goes straight down. So you wouldn't want to fall down there. Manways here, you also would not want to fall down that. Everything's so wet here, the wood is untrustworthy. Here's the top of that skip, about halfway across the winds here. There's a view of it there. I'm getting dripped on badly right now, so I want to get out of that. I just came through there. See a bunch of insulators and such on this side. This side is those power cables. A lot of juice running back here. I think I already said that, but I'm struck by that again. And look at that one. Look at all the insulators there. That's crazy. All right, let's go see what they found. We just came through there. I don't know if the camera caught it or not, but this is where the hoist was. I'm standing on the foundation where it would have been mounted. And it must have been a pretty serious hoist, considering the size of that skip. More electrical insulators right there, and then interestingly, if you look above, the top of the winds is right there. You can access it there. Or maybe rephrase that, you could have accessed it back in the day. Now that is not possible. There isn't much in here. There's some wood scraps in here, some hoses. Not all that much. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, and I want you guys to believe me. But yeah, not much. Now it looks like this drift here continued, but it's completely backfilled now. That goes all the way to the top. There's water coming down. I can hear the water coming down. So that makes me think it may have gone farther at one time. But unfortunately, there's nothing I can do with that now. So, I guess it's on to the other workings. That winds station alone, though, was quite impressive. That skip was really, really cool. So, I'm going to give some credit for that, because that was cool. I'm making my way out of the hoist room, and I just wanted to show you a closer look at some of this wiring, because I think it's really interesting. This early wiring. There's so much stuff, it's hard to avoid the shadows, but again, for more than 120 years ago, that's pretty impressive. All right, let's go try those other workings. Well, this is certainly something that you don't see every day. We're looking at a pair of giant underground boilers encased in ice. Steam technology at its finest. There may be more back there, but it's frozen solid. These are absolutely gigantic boilers. I'm holding this camera at exactly eye level right now. And you can see the rock they encased them in is over my head, so that is very impressive. The boilers are behind me right now, but my friend noticed something interesting, which was all this melted wax right here. So obviously, the miner rested a candle there. And that, of course, fits with the whole steam technology era we're looking at right now. Impressive. I don't know where that runs up to. It's impossible to tell from here. We have a better vantage point here. That's the exhaust that runs up to the surface right there. You see the first boiler here, and you can just make out top of the second boiler right there peeking out of the ice. There is an adit running back behind the boilers. We climbed up to take a look at it, but it's iced shut. And so we're gonna have to wait for global warming to progress some more before getting back into the treasures of this mine. But here's a teaser for you. So we'll come back in, I don't know, 10 years or whatever, and those are our handprints right there. We climbed up there to look. We'll come back in 10 years or so and see what's back there. But I bet it's something good based on what's right here in front. All right, just inside the portal. First look inside is not too promising. Looks like pretty bad ground, a lot of serpentine. I see all the ground fall here. I can't see the end though, so there is that. I see, looks like some ore right in front of me here. Maybe not, I thought that was quartz, but it's just mineralized rock. But carrying on, I actually don't see any quartz, so I take back what I said. Oh, you know what? Correction, there's a little bit of quartz right there. Anyway, let's get into this and see where this might take us. Oh, I didn't mention the fact that this is very low, and so I'm bent way over, which is slow and uncomfortable for walking. So bear with me. Uh-oh. I think we might have faced out. Looking up, you can see the vein above us. So what they were doing is they were just following this quartz vein straight in. I'm looking around. Might be a little quartz right there, but I think the main vein is over our heads. Oh man, I think that is the face right there. Oh, there's a nice mineralized zone. See, you've got the dark colors and the quartz, and then it abruptly gives way to this yellowish, talcy type rock, for lack of a better word. And over here, see, there's another mineral altogether. A lot of different mineralized zones blending together here. That's reminiscent of the famous blue lead. See the pick marks? That's definitely the area that miners are interested in. And yeah, I'm sorry to say, that is a face right there. Yeah, they picked at it a little bit, but must not have assayed out too well. Or they might have lost the vein altogether. I was thinking that was quartz at first glance, but I don't think it is. The last quartz I see is back here. So probably didn't assay out great. Otherwise they would have explored around a bit, but it does look like they lost it right there. And then there's the view back to the portal. We're still making our way up through this pass, and it's getting crazy. We're going through this tunnel of snow right now. It's probably 30 feet on either side of us here. It's just crazy. This is a huge stope that collapsed in on itself and then flooded.
I was pointing to where the adit continues off in the distance, and that section obviously didn't collapse. But it's a pretty impressive site.
We had no idea this mine was even here. We were just in the area and looked over. I almost walked right past it. Just looked over and saw this. So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna explore it.
Last mine for the
Last mine for a long time. Oh, I got a leak in my waders. Awesome start. Big mine. Wow, this is a big mine. There's no waste rock outside, and yet this really runs. And speaking of running, I've got a bunch of water running into my boot. This is a spacious one. It looks big and modern. I might just face out right there, actually. But now we know. We don't have to do it again. Yeah. That looks like... Well, there was rail in here. And there's something going off to the right. I might have spoken too soon. I did speak too soon. Definitely keeps going. That had a big piece of equipment sitting on that at one time.
But it's powder storage.
I bet it was powder storage, actually. Now that I'm looking at where a door would have been. That's exactly what that would have been. Okay.
Which actually means that this is more substantial.
More substantial?
I thought it was a prospect. You don't put a powder mag
No.
for a prospect.
No, you don't. That really keeps going too. Wow. This is dull and featureless, so I'm going to turn the camera off and pick up when we get to something down here. We've been coming from that direction through this really black rock, and we're still going. The slight bend here is why I'm turning the camera on, just to show you that I'm not hiding anything. A couple observations. The ties here are absolutely massive, and this is a very spacious adit, and so a lot is telling us that this is modern, but there's no waste rock pile outside, and this is in a very, very old mining area. There's nothing about this existing anywhere, so this one is probably the biggest mystery yet. And I see we just hit a substantial quartz vein, and I see
a large gauge track.
Oh yeah, look at the size. Do you mind putting your boot or your hand or something next to that? Yeah, look at the size of that track. That is substantial. Pretty good vein overhead, and you got the fault wall. All right. That's interesting. You can see how the vein cuts down straight through there like a lightning bolt. And then meanwhile, this looks like it just keeps running forever, no? Yeah, all right, well, again, long, featureless, so I'm gonna turn the camera off and I'll pick up down there somewhere. Still going. I'm turning the camera on because a little side drift here that just dead ends right there. And we're continuing to run this out. There's an older chorus can. Not old, but older. Yeah, see? And so far, no sign of artifacts, utilities, anything. It's definitely seems like a newer mine, but that's not supposed to be here. Let's just say that. It's not supposed to be here. We bent and twisted around for a while longer, and it just looked like this. Really nothing to show you. They were on the vein, as you can see. This is the vein here. And then they abruptly stopped. Did a good job. I mean, that's really squared off. But they stopped here. This one's a huge mystery. This is absolutely not supposed to be here. Not marked anywhere. There's no evidence of it whatsoever. This would have required a lot of infrastructure, and there's
Way more waste rock than we made.
way more waste rock than we made at our mine, and there's no trace of it outside. There's no trace of infrastructure outside. The road outside is very rough.
There's not even a landing where they could have had a compressor.
There's not even a landing where they could have had a compressor or other equipment.
Where they get their water from the drill.
Yeah, I have so many questions.
The rail is this big. They actually
The rail
take
is
it all out,
massive. Yeah, they hauled it all out.
And their work cars. Everything's this is the ghost mine.
Yeah, this is probably the biggest mystery of the day, I have to say. This is wild.